think.
Looks like it to me.
It's taking a minute.
On my end, it's showing that it's live.
Awesome. Yes, we are live. Let me turn my, I got to do a few things. All right. Let's do that. Cool. I think we're live. Hold on. Let me get my headset on. If you can hear me. This live stuff is the whole beginning. All right. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're tuned in. And I don't know if you knew this, but we actually boosted this out, and so
nice.
So we'll see. But usually we get a lot of activity after we rebroadcast it, so we email it out to everybody, make sure everybody gets a piece of it. But before we get started, I do want to say, hey guys, show some love if you're on here. Even if you're seeing this rebroadcasted, please like, comment, let us know where you're from. Facebook takes that information and says, hey, these guys are actually doing something pretty good. Let me help them boost this out. So just like you want your members to share your stuff, please share our stuff too. Anything Anna does, anything we do, let's support each other, because it's very important we get the word out of a good health. So today we have Anna Larsen. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. I don't know why I want to say Lawson. I guess
all right.
You're in the FBI group, which makes you Lawson. And she is going to be a speaker at our conference this year, the Fitness Retention Conference we're hosting in September 22nd, 23rd. And I'm really excited about this interview, Anna. Anna does some unique things. I love her because she thinks outside the box, and she just thinks of different ways to help people and touch people at a different level. So she has some unique programs she's going to share today. She's going to take us inside her club. But before we get started, if you don't know me, my name is Jerry Martin. I've been blessed to co-own and own over 20 different fitness businesses in the last 10 years with some amazing partners, my Joey and my wife, Amy. We also host a conference once a year. So if you're struggling with retention, as we all do, there's this elusive thing that we're all trying to grab. This conference is dedicated to retention. All the speakers, everything lined up. It's about retention. Of course, we'll have some lead gen there, but most of it's going to be about retention, because if you can retain your clients longer, you spend less time on that wheel chasing them down and try to get them into your door. And of course, it creates more revenue. I don't know if you know this, but if you raise your retention rate only 5%, that's an extra $15,000 to $25,000 a year just by keeping your clients longer. So if you want more, September 22nd, 23rd, there's going to be a link below this video. Also, if you're looking for a great accountability program, a nutrition program, which ties into retention, my Fit members, check it out. We'll also put a link there. Get a free 30-day trial to check it out. So I'm done with all that mess. So welcome, Anna.
Thank you.
First of all, before we get started, tell us a little about you, what you do inside and outside your club. I know you do some speaking events, and I know you're a part of some groups. So kind of tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I've been a trainer for 12 years, and I've been a boot camp owner for, I think, 6 years now. We're just going right on to 6. So I used to teach Pilates, and we had yoga in the studio as well. And Pilates was kind of my main thing. But the biggest problem that I had was clients wanted really incredible results, and you just can't get that with Pilates. It's more of a mind-body type of thing. And, Pilates is all about your abs, but nobody gets ripped from Pilates for the most part. So about 7 years ago, I started reaching out on Facebook. And that was about when I got on Facebook too, actually about 8 years ago. And talking to some people to figure out what it was that they were doing to get such great results for their clients. And that introduced me into bodybuilding. I had no idea what bodybuilding really was. I didn't know that there were different levels of it, or, different divisions and that kind of thing. And so I started working with a trainer who was teaching me some of the techniques and the frankly, the nutrition to get people into those results. And so then we started doing the boot camp because at that time I was also doing massage therapy, and I didn't have time to take on a bunch more clients one-on-one. And so I started doing it as a boot camp. I didn't really even know. I mean, I'd heard of a few boot camps and stuff, but I'm also in Idaho Falls, Idaho. So I felt really isolated for a long time. Like, and I would actually reach out to some of the other studios and stuff, and nobody wanted to talk to me, and nobody wanted to work together.
Oh, yeah, you're way.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty isolated, and I know a lot of people feel like that no matter where they are. And then I started getting online, and that's when I found out about Bedros, actually, and he started helping me quite a bit. So a year after I joined his program, he had me start teaching the FBI program, the Fitness Business Ignition. And so I've been doing that for just over 2 years now. And so we have about 500 people in there. Wow. It's a great program to help you, get launched, get your feet really, steady under you, and to be able to do a lot with your business and you don't feel so isolated. There's people to talk to, and people all over the world. We have people in there from, Malta, which is a little teeny country between Italy and Africa. And I actually went there a few years back. We have people from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, all over the place. So
it's just so basically it's coaching, but online coaching. For instance, Bedros creates the content via webpage. There's videos of step-by-step of how to even open your business all the way to closing clients to retention. And then this group supports that platform, right? Yeah, he has a number of different products for that. And then we answer questions. We do coaching calls. Mm-hmm. So it's great. That's awesome. A really good program. Yeah. Yes. And when I started, I was a member of FBI, and a lot of great content in there. Oh my gosh, it's kind of overwhelming, but just going through it, I know there's content added all the time. And then from there, when you can afford the coaching program, so it's kind of like, hey, let me get my training wheels. Let me get some coaching that I can afford, and then definitely step up to some coaching, making sure you get involved, and you can be a testimony to this. Is these events. Yeah, I know the most successful club owners like yourself that I talk to go to events. They have coaching, and those who don't, it's the same story. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't keep members. I'm losing money. Well, you've got to get educated. So you've got to go out and learn. And so it's very important just to get coaching from definitely people like you. So you've got to get on planes. Yeah, for sure. That is cool. And then she's speaking in our event. She spoke at several events in the past. Did you speak at Ideal World too? No, I didn't this year. No. Okay. In fact, I think I don't. Yeah. Sorry, I was just getting a phone call. Okay. I was wondering that was Arian. It's like, oh my gosh, we're losing the internet. No. So take us around your club. We want to see inside your club. How many square feet do you have there? I have 3,000 square feet. I'm going to show you about 2,400 square feet of it. So here's the deal. When I rented this place 3 years ago, so before that, that's right when I signed on with Bedros's program. Before that, I was in a tiny little space that I sublet, from somebody else. We did Pilates, yoga, and massage, and then I started doing the boot camp. This is what happens to everybody who sublets. Whoever you're renting from, you start getting successful, they start getting upset. So she kicked me out. Yeah, I mean, and she didn't kick me out, but she kept raising the rent, and she didn't like the vibe of boot camp in the yoga studio and stuff. So I was like, all right. So I moved over here. When I came in here, the landlord, I think he'd rented to a lot of smaller businesses before, and I think he was a little bit nervous about whether or not we'd hang on. So he wouldn't let me do anything with the building. Right. So we just barely signed our second lease. And this, I have to say, you guys, was scary for us because he kept saying that he wanted to sell the building and he wasn't going to lease to me again. And so I was going to talk to him about this, but then he went away to Belize, I think, or something. So he was gone for 6 weeks and I couldn't get a hold of him. And so I'm like, is he going to sell the building? Is he going to rent to me again? So I start looking for all of these other places around town. I've been shopping, and then he sent me a text. He said, do you want to rent again? Do you want to renew your lease? I was like, yeah. So anyway, we just signed a lease for another 3 years, and we have an option to buy, which is awesome. So we painted, as you can kind of
see. But like the stuff on the window, that's all temporary. It was just paint. And so now we're going to put the graphics and stuff. And then I also decided to become a Fit Body boot camp about I think about a year ago, and so we're switching everything over to Fit Body too. So that's why there's a lot of changes being made here. So which is kind of awesome. But
right. So say that because we have some viewers that are not Fit Body owners. What has been when you switched over? How much has it helped your business?
A ton. So I'll go into that in just a few minutes. But okay, so here's kind of our little seating area and stuff, and then there's cubbies there. Then this is the boot camp area, and we've torn up all the flooring because we're going to put in new flooring. I was playing around with rubber for a while, and that didn't work very well for us. No. So we're going to start playing around with some different stuff. So anyway, this is the actual boot camp area right here where we have our boot camp classes. This is kind of our front desk area. All of that's going to be changed. We're refacing it all, changing the colors on everything. Oh, and my battery's going dead. I was worried about that. I'll plug it in a second. Anyway, so here's our check-in station and stuff. This is one of the things that I was going to show you guys that we do that I think is really unique. So when they come in on the third day, that's when they have DOMs, when they're really sore and everything. We give them this, and it's just a bag of Epsom salts, and I think there's some peppermint scent or something in it. But what I do is I send them an email the night before, and I tell them that they should come in, and we have, I tell them what DOMs is and what it's all about, and then I tell them that we have something that will fix how sore they are. Because when they wake up on Wednesday, they're usually feeling like they're hit a truck or were hit by a truck. Right. So anyway, that's what we do. And then I've also given out these little things. It's kind of like Tiger Balm. It's from Thailand. It's called White Monkey Holding Peach Balm. You can see the little monkey there. And you can get them on eBay and Amazon and stuff. And these are the little ones. Anyway, that just kind of helps them too. And it's just something to make them come in so that they actually make it through that first week. And that's hugely important. Okay, so then we have... This is our massage and treatment room that that machine right there is called a Synergy machine. It helps to get rid of cellulite. So anyway, wow. Yeah, and that's actually a pretty popular treatment that we do.
Does it work?
It does work. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So okay. That's what my wife complains about all the time. So guess what? We're going to go to Idaho.
You might be able to find it there too. I'll give you information. Right. So you guys, this is our star wall, and what we do, I'll kind of zoom in on them. So what we do is when a client has any type of success at all, I'll just kind of go through some of these here. We write a star up for them, and we take their picture, and we post it in the group, and then we put these stars on the wall. And it sounds kind of funny, and a lot of the trainers think that it's kind of goofy. But I'll tell you what, there's my one and only star. I got 100% on my CPR test. One of the trainers made that for me. But people get really into this, and they don't think it's stupid, and they don't think it's silly. And in fact, they get kind of upset if you don't give them a star. So people will come in and they'll be like, hey, I lost 5 pounds, or I can finally do a push-up from my toes, or, whatever it is. And they want their star. Yes. And they get kind of upset if you don't. Oh my gosh. You don't do a star.
I think it's funny too, and the reason I think it's funny, I used to own a daycare center, and
right,
and that's how we got kids. And it's funny when I see my wife doing it, and they go, "Where's my star?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah,
but it works. They love it. Love it. They love point system stars. Yes, if you're not doing it, I know it's simple and it sounds silly, but yeah.
And then we have this other section here that we just started. So this is we named it after a client, and now she's been here for 3 years, and we're going to rename it. But it's basically when they come to 2 workouts a day, which is what she always does for a month, then they get flowers, they get to sign the wall, and then we have a t-shirt for them too. And it's just kind of cool. So
that's funny you say that, because a lot of clubs discourage against 2 workouts a day.
We talked about this a lot. To try to figure out what we wanted to do with this. And I do know that a lot of clubs discourage that kind of thing, but we explained to them that it's not going to help them get results any faster. Right. And, it's just kind of a personal discipline kind of thing. And and that, so anyway, we get into that. And it just so happens that the client who does that, she doesn't eat well at all. And so she doesn't lose weight. So anyway, it kind of reinforces that, but that's okay. Okay. This is my back area. So we have an office here kind of, while we're remodeling some of the other stuff. Oh, and then up in the front, I should have mentioned this. I'm going to put a wall up here to kind of separate the reception spot from the rest. So there's some beams. We have 18-foot ceilings. So that beam is going to become a wall. Right. And then we're going to put hard flooring up here in the front where the front door is, because in the wintertime especially, we get a lot of people that come in with snow on their shoes and that kind of stuff. So we're going to put hard flooring up here, put the wall up. We did have a kids center right over here, and that didn't work so well. Wow. So we took that out, and we're not having kids in the studio anymore. And so we're going to put up this wall here, and then this horrible lattice stuff, we're going to change it out and put barnwood up. And so they're going to put it up in strips. So we have some samples of our barnwood right there, but they're going to put it all up into strips and put paint everything black and then put lights behind it. So it's going to be kind of cool.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Amazing.
Then, so that you guys can kind of see. So this used to be an old battery store. So this was open. This wall right here was put in. And then right here and here were overhead garage doors. You can actually see the thingies for the garage doors. We put this wall in here because this is where all of the electrical stuff is, and it's kind of ugly. So we put this wall up right here, you can kind of see, and then we're putting up barn doors there. Then back over here, we're going to put in another wall across here, and then that's going to create another office. One of the biggest problems we have in this space is that everything is really loud and nothing is very insulated. So it's kind of hard to have a boot camp and do consultations at the same time.
Right.
But anyway, this little area right here, this is where my husband and I work out. We store the extra water bottles and stuff. That's a shelf that's going to be put up. And then, of course, we put our paddle boards and stuff here too. And then this is the area where I'm doing consultations right now till we get that other wall built.
Yeah, I can't wait to see when it's done. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I actually have one other room. I'm going to switch this back to me. I have one other room, but it's full of scaffolding and stuff right now. So, so you won't want to see that. But we're going to make that into a classroom. And so I'm going to put a big screen TV in there. Actually, we have a TV. But anyway, big screen TV so that we can do our videos and stuff. Right. And then, a big whiteboard and that type of stuff. So that's where we'll do all of the orientations. And we have cooking classes and stuff like that we do too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what my wife does, cooking and everything. So cool. Do you need to plug your phone in before you forget? I don't want you
yeah, hold on. Whoops. Just keep talking and I'll.
Don't drop it. All right. So, yeah, amazing. So I know we talked a little bit yesterday and I'm curious, or we talked about a couple of your programs.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those. One was your mindset challenge, which I really like because you're going deeper. I love, you're getting out of that surface world and really going deeper and tapping into something that is really needed. So tell us about that. Sure.
So one of the things that most of my clients struggle with, and I'm sure everybody's clients struggle with this, is mindset. And part of it is, like I hear this all the time, I don't want to exercise and I really don't want to eat right. And how do I do all of that? How do I lose weight without having to do that kind of stuff? Well, obviously that's not going to work. Right. So what we do is we talk about habits a lot. And one of the biggest things that I do with people is I try not to blame them for what's going wrong, because a lot of it is habit-based and it's things that they've learned or coping mechanisms that they have. And it's not necessarily that they're bad people. And I think a lot of times, especially in the fitness industry, we don't mean to do this, but we put people down a little bit and we try to get them to change things by, I don't know if you want to call it intimidation or shaming or whatever it is. So what we try to do is explain to them where their habits come from. And one of the things, and I meant to bring the book and I forgot, but it's The Power of Habit. And I buy a big, huge stack of these. You can buy them, I think, 24 at a time from book-pal.com. And they're they're usually like only like $10 a piece. And so we buy a bunch of these and we'll have a reading group, and they read the book and then we talk about everything. And it goes into all of these different habits, from gambling to, actually there was one that was really interesting, which is work culture in the London Underground and why that caught on fire and nobody said anything. And so it takes a lot of the blame out. There's a gambling addiction, there's a food addiction kind of thing, a whole bunch of different things that people may or may not relate to personally, but they can see where the habit part of it comes in.
Right.
And then we just start replacing habits with people. And, so it's more about just trying to change behaviors than shaming.
Right.
And so it makes it really good.
So now you run a challenge with this. So how do you advertise that? How does it, and my understanding what you told me about it, you get them into this challenge to get the mind right, and then you flip them into when they're ready for.
Yeah. So it kind of just depends. Some people are ready to go. They're ready. They're sick and tired of where they are. They're ready to go into a challenge, and they just do that. And sometimes they just flip themselves. Some people have, all kinds of different issues with things. I've even had some women that are intimidated to cook because they don't cook. So they don't for me, it was like something I've always done since I was a kid, and I was in 4-H and everything else. And so cooking is something that really comes second nature to me. But I started learning a lot of people either don't like to cook or really don't even know how.
Right.
Like I had one client and she was with me for 3 years. And then she said, how do you cook a sweet potato? Like she had no idea how to cook it. And I was like, okay, we have to go down to how to boil an egg, how to cook a sweet potato, and that's okay.
Right.
And so we have that. And then we have some people that are just really struggling with their habits. And so we bring them into a habit challenge, and everything is just habit based. So it gets down to the nitty gritty. Like you get your clothes ready before you go to bed, and you put your keys on top of those, and your shoes are ready, so that you don't keep waking up late and forgetting where your keys are or forgetting where your shoes are or whatever. So everything gets ready before bed, keys on top of it, whatever. Prep the meals ahead of time. I always tell people you'll eat what you make. So if you prep your meals and they're in containers and weighed out and ready to go, you'll eat that.
Right.
If you have to prepare something from scratch, you probably won't. You'll probably just grab something different. I also tell people a lot that the only time you care about what you're going to eat is 30 minutes before and as you take the first few bites, because you're starving.
Right.
And you're craving stuff. And as soon as you've eaten, you don't care anymore.
Right.
Like you don't care what you ate. So because you're full and everything's fine. So we just kind of, base a lot of things on that. And we try to correct habits that maybe somebody has, coping mechanisms a lot. I had one woman and she discovered that her coping mechanism, her husband, she felt like was a little bit hard on her son. And so her coping mechanism was to eat.
Wow.
And she told me she wasn't even hungry. And it was just nervous energy. She didn't know what to do with the energy. So she just ate.
Right.
And so we figured that out. And she started doing a lot of different things and working with her husband even, and her son. And now she doesn't have those problems anymore. So
got you. So do you advertise this as a mindset challenge, like through Facebook and ClickFunnels, and how do they know about it? And then once they come into it, is it once a week meetings? How does that work?
So I don't call it a mindset challenge, because unless you're an athlete or maybe an entrepreneur, mindset probably isn't a word that you use a lot. One of the other things that I do is I try to use words that my clients use. So just to kind of go back to something different, people say that they want to tone up. Most trainers know that tone isn't really a thing that can happen. And if you look at it from a clinical standpoint, it's actually not even a good thing. It's tension in the muscle.
That's like using words like bra fat, right?
Right. But I will use the words that they like to use. So I will say tone up, Right. So with this, we talk about habits. We talk about, fixing bad habits. We talk about, just different things like that to get them in the right frame of mind for what we're doing. We advertise it as a challenge. And it's points based. So, if you get your clothes ready the night before, you get a certain number of points. If you sign up for your workout and then come to that workout, you get a certain number of points, just different things like that. So basically any habits that I want them to adopt, they get points for.
Okay. Are you charging for this program?
I do and I don't. So right now I'm running one where I'm not charging for it, because I'm trying to get people back into the mode. A lot of people took the summer off and just didn't really do anything. So right now we're doing it as a free challenge in August. I'm breaking it up into 4 different sections. And some of it's fun and some of it's, more habit based. So I'm calling it the 4 Ps for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, now I can't remember them because I'm under pressure and I'm nervous, but so it's, oh shoot. I could probably look it up really fast.
Oh, man, I'm gonna have with you at the conference because I'm gonna right being on stage. It's like, man, I know you're nervous. This is crazy. I'm just kidding.
It's true. I know. I try not to act like I'm nervous, but I am. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Here we go.
We'll feed you a lot of wine before you go on stage.
No, don't do that. That would be a mess. Anyway, I can't find it. But so what we're doing is I can't remember what this week is, but I want to say performance. It's not performance. But anyway, it's basically those things. Are you signing up for your classes? Are you coming to your classes? Are you posting your meal? That's another thing that I do is instead of having them do a meal journal, they take pictures of their food and then they make a collage with it and then they post that into the Facebook group. It helps. It helps the group get a ton of interaction, which is awesome. But then it also holds them accountable in a way that writing stuff down doesn't, because you can write down whatever you want.
Right, and it works. And I told her yesterday. I didn't tell her till yesterday. She hasn't looked at the app, but the app that we created, that idea you gave me last year with taking pictures of the food, that's what we did. So now a client has to take pictures of food, and the trainer gets to see it and comment on it. And so it's a wonderful idea because people don't have time to journal. Take a quick picture. Okay.
So participation, I just pulled it up. So participation is this week's P. And then next week is prep. So we're going to work a lot on meal prep and things like that. And that's going to be a big, huge focus. So we're going to look at recipes. We're going to talk about how to create a grocery shopping list, how to get your food ready to go, all of that. Then in the 3rd week, we're doing planks. And so that's just a plank challenge for fun. So they do a plank and take a picture. And then the most creative ones will win. And then pals is the next one, the last one. And that's when they bring friends.
Gotcha.
To boot camp. Because if you have people that you really like to work out with, you'll come more.
Yes, accountability. So I had some questions. So I'm assuming you have a closed group on this too?
Mm-hmm.
For support. And so you have probably some members who jump into this also and some that are new people. So they have.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, we're kind of focusing mostly on the members for it, just because I'm trying to get them back up to speed, because then they'll support the new people that'll start coming in more in the fall. I mean, this is just that month when everybody's trying to finish up a vacation or get school clothes done or whatever. It's just a mess this month. So
well, I love it because it's something different that your current members, because or even new, it's just different that you're helping them at a different level than most facilities would. Helping them build better habits, helping them just overall life, which I really, really love. So that's what we should be, is when we say we change people's lives, you don't change somebody's lives by getting them to lose weight. That's not how you change your life. Really find ways that you can go deeper, and that's what you're doing there. That's really what I love, and that's where my passion is.
It's funny too, because I've had a lot of clients that have lost a lot of weight. I had one girl that lost 100 pounds, and she, I think, couldn't get comfortable in her own skin for quite a while because she had been overweight, very overweight, her whole entire life. And it was funny because she's a mom, and she went and got a green mohawk at first. I was like, what's that green mohawk about? And I realized she wasn't ready to be pretty or to get attention and, have people tell her how great she looked and stuff. Plus, I just think she didn't recognize herself for a long time. Right. And so she had to.
She still got to love herself. She had to learn how to love herself. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she does now. It's awesome.
That is awesome. And see, because when you take them through what you're going through, I don't know I love what you're doing. Have you ever heard of the 6 basic needs from Tony Robbins?
Yes.
Really, I mean, those, when you was talking about why people do what they do, why that lady overate, she's getting a need that's not met. So we've incorporated that too in our program, and it's been amazing. If you can meet 2 out of the 6 needs, you pretty much got that client or really any kind of relationship.
For sure. Yeah, and we talk a lot about things too, like their friends probably won't support them in their in their weight loss. I mean, at first everybody does until they start getting results, and then their friends will, their friends get worried about them, and you're too focused on this. Sometimes we have spouses that'll sabotage people. Mm-hmm. So one of the other things that we do in all of our mindset challenges is that they compliment another boot camper. And so they do that in the group, and they have to say something like, you look great, or you did great today with something, or whatever, because I explain to them why that is too. I say, you won't probably get that amount of support from anywhere else in your life, so you really need to get it here, and you really need to support each other. So then it creates really good culture, and people just get excited to be here.
Awesome. Now there's one other program you do there, and we talked about it, and I don't have my notes.
I was going to say, well, no, because I have a whole bunch of them. Is it just the transformation, the 12-week transformation? Is that?
Yeah. Well, no, it's getting fast results. That's what it was.
Yeah. So
let's talk about, because that's where when people come in, they're wanting results. And if you don't give them immediate results as best you can, then you tend to lose them. So talk about what you do to create that.
So the first thing that we do is we put them on a pretty restricted meal plan at first. And by restricted, I don't do any kind of weird low carb, super low carb, or anything like that. Everything that I do is very moderated, and we don't take any food groups out unless there's an allergy or anything like that. So I have some, gluten-free and that type of stuff, but I don't do anything too crazy with people, because I just don't like that myself. Sorry, I keep getting notifications on my phone. But what we do is we put them on a kind of restricted meal plan at first so that they get results, but then they're also in a different mindset about things. And then we put them on a customized plan. And so I customize that based on their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't like to cook, we have a plan I call it a grab and go. And so they can put all this food into a cooler for the day, and they don't really have to cook a lot of stuff. Then I have some people that have families that need meals that are adaptable to different, to kids and husbands and stuff like that. So I show them how to do that. And I have recipes that, you can make the same thing for the whole family, but your meal can be a little bit different so that you can lose weight. So we do all of that. And then we do have a 12-week plan that is, it's pretty restrictive. I actually base it on competition methods, and it gets amazing results for people. I will say probably about 20% of my clients actually want to do that, but it's really fun to work with those people too. And so I beta tested this with actually a bunch, about 100 trainers right now, to try to make it so it's really concise, so that other trainers can implement it in their studios without having to basically get a degree in nutrition or calculate macros and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
I was going to ask
something I'm working on.
So are these food lists and stuff, is that something you created? Okay, so you're not using an outside program or anything?
No, I've tried a few, and none of them have ever worked for me. And a lot of them are made by registered dietitians, which allow food substitutions in their programs. So like I had people substituting Cheerios and Fruit Loops once. I'm like, what is this? Well, let me do it in the program. And so no, I do everything myself now.
Awesome. And you're working on the program to share out with other owners or for them to purchase, or?
Yeah. So we've tested it with about over 100 trainers, and just to see if people could get the same results and then get their feedback. So I'm working on everything right now to put it together into like a package so that it's easier to.
I would like to take a peek inside, just a little peek.
Sure. It's pretty awesome.
That sounds
And the
awesome.
cool thing is it gets the trainer in shape too. So it's, a lot of trainers, this is our biggest problem, is we're working all day. We're worrying about our clients. We're trying to get them back on track, and we don't always have time to do everything for ourselves. So it helps with that too. And it's fast. It's, half an hour a day. And
is this a 12-week program that you put them through, or 6?
Yeah, it's 12.
So,
and I do a bunch of others too. We do a 6-week. We do a whole bunch of different things.
Right. What is
I've used. Oh, go ahead.
What's the best time frame? Because sometimes you say 12 weeks is great because you get great before and after pictures, but you start losing them. Yeah. So
yeah, you really have to focus on them. 6 weeks, I think, is great, because people can lose, 10, 15 pounds in 6 weeks, which, I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot of weight, but I have a girl who lost 8 pounds and the difference was absolutely stunning on her body, just in her pictures.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is I focus more on pictures with people than on weight or body fat percentage or anything like that, because no one is ever going to say, oh, wow, you've lost 12.3 pounds and 6.4% body fat. They'll never say that to you.
Yeah.
They're like, you look amazing. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. And you're exactly right. We're same way. We speak the same language on nutrition, on before. Yeah, pictures. It's all transformation. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep track of the numbers just to keep track, but it's not what we focus on. And that's not, if we have a challenge, they only win a challenge by their before and after.
Yep, me too. I don't ever do.
And it's usually voted on by the members or outside. So yeah. Perfect. Well, cool. I know we kind of went over on time, which is awesome. It doesn't matter. So if they tuned out, that's fine. That book you talked about, what's the name of that book? I want to put it in.
The Power of Habit.
The Power of Habit.
The author. Habit.
The Power of Habit.
Yeah. Let me see if I could figure out I don't remember the author. It's a really good book. Charles Duhigg, Duhigg is how you spell his last name.
Did you get it?
But if you just look up The Power of Habit on Amazon, it's a yellow book.
Awesome. Do they have an audible? Inaudible?
Oh. They do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I love it. I hope, we're definitely going to adopt something like that, because even if, God, it can only help.
Yeah.
Just do it, because it breaks things up. It gets people moving in the right direction, creating the habits, and you could really get creative with it. It doesn't have to be around weight loss.
That's true. Joey read it too, and there are a lot of author's notes and things too online. If you just look up like a book club for The Power of Habit, there's worksheets and stuff that you can give to your groups. That's so awesome. You could teach the book. Yeah, it's nice.
Well, cool. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in September. I
can't wait.
Your presentation. What's your presentation about again?
We're going to do kind of this stuff. So I'm going to talk about how to get results for people and how to build culture, because that's what really helps with retention is if people get results and feel like they're at home.
Yes, most definitely. So yes. So again, the Fitness and Retention Conference, September 22nd and 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia. We're really focusing on club culture, how to tie your community of people together so it's not just a workout facility, because most people look at gyms and agree and they go, oh, that's an exercise facility. Oh no, that's a community of people. How do I foster that community of people? How do I tie them together? How do I get them to support each other? How do I get them to reach out and to out in the town to bring more people in? Because that's the art of teaching them to pay it forward. And if you can get in that area, that's which we've got into, it's amazing, because now you have an army of people helping you change lives. And so going a little deeper in some things, I think my talk's going to be about that, which I'm nervous too, but yeah, but I think I'll practice it probably about 2.5 times before I start. That way, if I mess up, it's not so bad. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so September 22nd, 23rd, guys, get your tickets. They're going fast. I think we're still at maybe 147 or maybe 167. I don't know, but it's somewhere in there. It is the cheapest coaching program you could possibly buy, and we've got a lineup of amazing speakers that is dedicated to helping you with retention. So check it out. Check out the speaker list. You'll see. Anna, thank you so very much. You're very, very awesome. And I am going to go ahead and sign out. And don't forget, guys, make sure you like, comment, please comment. Even if you're watching this later, comment. So thank you very much. And you guys have a blessed day. Anna, stay on.
Thanks, Jerry.
I'm